brother Yun Chuyang, where are you? Stop hiding, come out and save me. Hearing this, Chen Luo froze. No wonder this spider spirit found me so quickly. It must be the teacher who sent her. But why would the teacher harm me? He could have acted during our last encounter. It must be Resod who requested the teacher to bring this woman to assassinate me. And the teacher couldn't refuse. Meanwhile, Dana continued to wail, brother Yun Chuyang, help me. Please spare me, I truly am willing to serve you for 10,000 years. Hearing her plea, Chen Luo, without hesitation, hurled hundreds of dimensional blades at her. You dare try to seduce me and disrupt my relationship with Millie? Your intentions are despicable. Look at yourself, reeking of foulness. You're even killing the flowers and plants. Don't they have lives? Today, I will act as the agent of justice and eliminate this calamity. While Chen Luo continuously unleashed dimensional blades, his mastery of the dimensional law also improved significantly. At that moment, Dana suddenly shouted, You heartless Chen Luo, if I'm going to die, I'll take you with me. Right after she spoke, her body exploded with a loud bang, releasing an amount of poison. Chen Luo, squinting his eyes, chose not to use void walking to escape. He thought to himself, since Rice didn't give any warning, it means my life isn't in danger. My teacher also advised me to toughen up, to be more resolute. If I do get hurt, I can always use time reversal to heal myself. Sometimes, you have to push yourself to discover your limits. Surprisingly, he didn't flee using void walking, but stood still, letting the poison splash onto him. What he didn't expect was that Dana's self-explosion wasn't particularly powerful. It merely covered his armor in poison, which corroded it like sulfuric acid, yet didn't penetrate it. Chen Luo marveled, this armor is really something. I tried to be bold for once, and it turns out to be a non-issue. Well then, I might as well use this armor to practice time reversal. 2 hours later, Yun Chuyang returned to the Draymond Empire Palace, and began to report with a serious demeanor. Chen Luo didn't fall for Dana's seduction. During their fight, Chen Luo used void walking to take Dana away. I couldn't catch up, therefore, I returned to report the situation to the emperors. I suppose Dana's chances of survival are slim now. Hearing this, the two emperors were visibly shocked, then said, You may step down now. We understand the situation. At this point, Adolf spoke with a smile. In that case, I'll have to use my last resort to make Chen Luo come to us. Resod quickly responded, Big brother, as expected. Don't keep me in suspense. What's your plan? Adolf chuckled. Do you remember Time Trace, the instigator behind Chen Luo's troubles? Third Prince Lei Sheng was misled by him, resulting in his downfall. But since then, Time Trace has vanished. Resod nodded. Of course, I remember. But what about him? Adolf revealed. He feared you would punish him, so he sought refuge in our Draymond Empire. I have that guy in my custody now. He is the perfect bait for Chen Luo. I'll send someone to relay this information to him right away. Upon receiving the letter from the Draymond Empire, Chen Luo read that they were seeking his assistance to investigate the abyss of the destructive law, acknowledging his mastery of void walking with a great god certification. In return, they offered him 3 gifts, the custody of his enemy Time Trace, a reward of 30 billion purple crystals, and a staff made from rare spatial magic stone to greatly enhance the abilities of a divine-level space practitioner. Intrigued by the offer, Chen Luo quickly consulted Rice. If I go, will there be any danger? Rice assured him, You can go, there won't be any danger. But remember, I mentioned that Thunder King might be in danger soon? I feel his crisis is imminent, and he's also in the Draymond Empire. I'm not sure if it's related to your situation. Meanwhile, Thunder King was at a martial arts arena, sparring with an opponent. He defeated a 3-path law expert in an instant with his newly mastered illusionary Thunder Law, impressing Afra, who excitedly shouted, Thunder King, you're amazing. You mastered the illusionary Thunder Law so quickly. Although grandfather is still hesitant to take you as a disciple, there's an opportunity for you to prove yourself. If you succeed, he'll surely accept you. Are you interested? Thunder King, curious, asked, Sure, what do I need to do? Afra replied with a slight smile, You know Chen Luo, right? Grandfather invited him to help investigate the abyss. He will arrive tomorrow, but actually, grandfather plans to strike at him. It's going to be a trap. Hearing Afra's revelation, Thunder King was momentarily stunned, thinking to himself, as far as I know, Chen Luo hasn't provoked them. Why are they planning to put him in such a perilous situation? Concerned, he quickly asked Afra, What exactly are you planning to do to this Chen Luo? Afra patted Thunder King's shoulder. You don't need to worry about that. Just follow my instructions when the time comes. Thunder King nodded in agreement, but internally he was conflicted, thinking, damn it, looks like I need to find a way to sneak out. I must inform Chen Luo about this trap. Thunder King finally comprehended the third law. To his utter surprise, to become Adolf's last disciple, he had to participate in the mission to kill Chen Luo. This scared Thunder King immensely. He muttered to himself, Chen Luo has never provoked them. Why do they want to put him in a life-threatening situation? I must hurry and inform Chen Luo about this. Unexpectedly, Afra told him, the operation is starting immediately. Just follow my orders later. Then she took Thunder King to the front of the abyssal hall. At that moment, Ardis had been waiting there for a long time, which greatly shocked Thunder King. Since coming to the Draymond Empire, this is the first time he has seen Ardis leave the palace. Although Thunder King was not clear about Ardis' abilities, he was almost certain that he was the key to dealing with Chen Luo. Then he followed Afra to the bottomless abyss. At this time, an old woman laughing beside Adolf said, he has come. He is watching us from the deep space. Hearing this, Afra whispered instructions, Thunder King, he will be immobilized later. Seize the moment to act against him immediately. Thunder King nodded upon hearing these words. Why must we act against him? Afra coldly said, because he poses a threat to my brother. A threat to our Draymond Empire. Upon hearing this, Thunder King was furious. Just because he is a threat to your brother, you want to eliminate him completely? They must have some means to deal with Chen Luo. How could they set up an ambush without confidence? I cannot just watch Chen Luo fall into their trap. I must give him a hint. Thinking this, Thunder King backhanded Afra with a slap on her face, then immediately roared, it's an ambush. Chen Luo, do not come here. But as soon as his words fell, Adolf had already eerily appeared in front of Thunder King. I have been so good to you, and you dare to ruin my plans. And hit my precious granddaughter. As he spoke, Adolf viciously slapped Thunder King across the face, sending him plunging into the abyss. Thunder King couldn't resist the pull of the abyss, being dragged down by this mysterious force. Soon, Thunder King's roar was heard from the abyss. On the day the dog emerges from the abyss, you all will die. After saying this, Thunder King was completely swallowed by the energy. Miraculously, this energy, upon touching Thunder King, did not cause him the slightest harm. It merely clung to Thunder King's surface. Thunder King felt no pain, and soon he landed at the bottom of the valley. Just as he thought of escaping the abyss, he was struck down instantly by a force of thunder. Looking up, he discovered an irregular-shaped purple sky thunder above him. Thunder King tried several times, but he couldn't break through. Just then, a voice suddenly echoed in Thunder King's mind. It's useless. Only by passing my test. Can you leave? This frightened Thunder King. Who are you? What do you want? As soon as his words ended, a vision was transmitted into Thunder King's mind. I am the law of destruction because I harbored thoughts of destroying the world. Millions of years ago, I was sealed by the other laws. Now, I, the law of destruction, have returned. If you can pass my test, my power will not scatter again, and will belong only to you. Only an indomitable will can't be eroded, and only you can erode your own will. Come, accept my test. As he spoke, a destructive thunderbolt struck directly towards Thunder King, while a prompt once again echoed in his mind. If you can withstand it, you will be reborn. If you cannot withstand it, then I must wait again for the destined one to appear. Following the strike of the destructive thunderbolt on Thunder King, the law of destruction began to incessantly break down and regenerate Thunder King's body. This process was excruciating for Thunder King, but the thought of Chen Luo possibly still being in danger kept him biting down hard and enduring the pain. Chen Luo, wait for me. The pain becomes bearable after a while. Can you speed it up a bit? I'm in a hurry to get out and save someone. I've said it. Those outside must die for the dog. Meanwhile, elsewhere, seeing Thunder King being knocked into the abyss by Adolf, Chen Luo quickly asked Rice, what should we do now? Hurry and figure out how Thunder King is doing. Upon hearing this, Rice immediately reassured, rest assured. I can feel that not only is he not in danger, but he is also about to gain a tremendous opportunity. However, he will endure unimaginable pain. Hearing this, Chen Luo was relieved. It's good to hear he's okay. But Adolf, who pushed Thunder King into the abyss, I will make him pay a painful price. After saying this, he used Void Walking to appear behind Adolf, and then suddenly unleashed several dimensional blades towards him. This delighted the two emperors. We thought the plan had failed, but we didn't expect this kid to still have the guts to show up. At that moment, Adolf waved his hand and easily blocked the dimensional blades. Child's play. Saying this, he flashed to Artist's side, and then with the speed of lightning, took him to midair. My dear grandson, it's your turn now. Meanwhile, in Adolf's hand, a black energy vortex was condensed. At the same moment, Risad's hand rapidly emitted dazzling multicolored light. The two did not rush to act, but continued to accumulate energy. As Artist shouted for time to stop, Chen Luo was instantly frozen in midair. Seeing this, Adolf did not dawdle, immediately charging towards him with the fury of dark thunder. But just then, bursts of colorful light suddenly shone, and this familiar aura immediately caught Risad's attention. How is this possible? Why does he have the aura of the flower of the other shore on him? Chen Luo, to the disbelief of everyone watching, dodged Adolf's lethal attack. Before Adolf could comprehend what happened, Chen Luo swiftly grabbed his grandson, Artist, and prepared to leave the area using void walking. Unexpectedly, Artist used time stop on him. The next second, he escaped from Chen Luo's grasp while Chen Luo was still in the midst of void walking. This gave Chen Luo quite a scare. Can time stop be used like this? Trying to outsmart me, huh? After saying this, Chen Luo charged towards Artist. I said I would take you with me today, and you will have to come with me. Nobody can save you from me. That's what I said. Adolf quickly arrived at the scene and immediately unleashed his fury of thunder on Chen Luo. In the next second, a vast expanse of thunder and lightning descended, covering millions of miles in space. Chen Luo had no choice but to continuously use void walking to dodge, looking for an opportunity to take Artist away. But at that moment, Risad suddenly blocked his way, casting a dazzling light towards him. Although this move was not an attack skill, the emitted light blinded Chen Luo, preventing him from seeing anything. Chen Luo cursed under his breath. These two old foxes are really too cunning. They want me to temporarily retreat to cover Artist's withdrawal, but they are underestimating me. Risad, weren't you nearing your end? Then let me give you a taste of life rapidly slipping away. Thinking this, he immediately used time acceleration on Risad. However, this move had no effect on him. Risad just smirked disdainfully. Is this all? Your level of time acceleration has no effect on me. This scared Chen Luo. How could someone possibly be immune to the power of time? Does he possess some treasure that counters time? Seeing this, Adolf immediately shouted. A loser is a loser. Do you only know how to run around? If you dare, stop running and let's have a fair fight. Unexpectedly, Chen Luo responded on the spot. Who's afraid? Come hit me if you can. As soon as his words fell, a beam of light instantly pierced through Chen Luo's chest. This scared Risad. He actually didn't dodge, but why didn't my attack cause him any harm? Thinking this, Risad launched another fierce attack at him. However, Chen Luo did not retreat an inch. Instead, he revealed a smug smile. Not dodging wasn't Chen Luo showing off. It was because he had been inspired when he saw Artist use time stop on him. He had realized a technique that merged time and space. The fusion of time and space placed him in another dimension, rendering him invulnerable to any harm unless the attacks of the two emperors could transcend dimensions. The next second, Risad's attack went straight through Chen Luo's body as if passing through a mere shadow. Chen Luo sneered. I'm in the stratosphere with this move. Seeing this, the two were stunned. How is this possible? Was that just a shadow? Could it be an immunity skill? Thinking this, Adolf immediately launched a physical attack on Chen Luo. But the result was the same. Visible, but untouchable. Chen Luo then said with a smirk. Weren't you sarcastically saying I could only run just now? I'm standing right here letting you hit me. Old trash. What can you do to me? Hearing this, Adolf was furiously enraged. If you're brave, fight me fair and square. What's the point of using these sneaky tricks? Chen Luo didn't bother to argue with him, but coolly snapped his fingers. The next second, the two troublesome elders disappeared on the spot. Then, he flashed in front of Artist before he could figure out what was happening. Chen Luo used the power of space-time to break his time stop and grabbed Artist like picking up a chick. I said no one could save you. Behave, or I'll blow your head off. This scared Artist immensely, who quickly begged with a crying voice. Please don't kill me. My grandfather will satisfy any of your demands. He cherishes me the most. Chen Luo ignored this and threw him into a spatial ability dimension, muttering to himself. Those two old men should be coming back soon. Better take him somewhere else to finish this. Adolf must pay for his actions. Then, he turned to look behind at Time Trace. With a wave of his hand, The 4 divine level guards watching Time Trace disappeared. Before Time Trace could understand what was happening, Chen Luo whooshed down in front of him, scaring Time Trace. Chen Luo, why is it you? What do you want to do with me? Just then, the 2 banished emperors returned to the scene. Seeing this, Chen Luo didn't hesitate and immediately took Time Trace into his own crafted spatial tunnel. Thanks to the 2 emperors for preparing such a great gift for me. Hearing this, Adolf quickly shouted, "Where is my grandson, Artis? What have you done with him, Chen Luo?" Before he could finish speaking, Chen Luo, along with Time Trace, arrived at a remote planet. This immediately made Time Trace break out in a cold sweat, hastily shouting, "It's not my fault. All this was Violet's doing. She's the one who told me to kill you." Upon hearing this, Chen Luo immediately asked Time Trace, "Who is Violet? Why would she want you to kill me?" Time Trace told him, "Violet is a legendary figure in the cause and effect domain, a real mean piece of work who likes to use others as pawns. I'm a divine level with spatial teleportation, making a fortune with my ability. However, due to my weak strength, I often face difficulties from others. So, I needed a powerful backer. When I learned about Violet, I went to meet her with carefully prepared gifts. Surprisingly, the usually reclusive Violet met with me, and we became friends. With this connection, I expanded my network, and my life gradually improved. Knowing Violet's abilities, I begged her to foresee my future. She told me I would die by your hand, and that I would soon hear news about you. Then the Budwa family actually informed me about you. So I believed Violet's prophecy. Before this, I personally sent a demigod level from the Budwa family to the Blue Star to kill you, fearing your revenge as you grew stronger. That's why I did what I did. Chen Luo, I know I'm about to die by your hands. Can you tell me, knowing that I sent a demigod level to the Blue Star, would you have sought revenge?" Hearing this, Chen Luo firmly replied, "You're mistaken. Why would I want to take revenge on you? I should be thanking you. That demigod level was barely alive when he came out of the spatial tunnel. I killed him with a flick of my finger. And just like that, I easily obtained a demigod level crystal." Upon hearing this, Time Trace's mentality exploded. Tears streamed uncontrollably as he pounded the ground, shouting, "Violet, you wretch." Chen Luo showed no sympathy, merely kicking him and asking, "What kind of strength does this Violet have? Is she that formidable?" Hearing this, Time Trace burst out in anger. "She has no strength worth mentioning. I could slap her dead with one hand. But she reincarnates continuously after death. And whoever kills her will suffer backlash. Even if you arrange for someone else to do it, you'll still suffer from the backlash. You can't cheat causality. The reason why the third prince and Adolf are after you is also because Violet is pulling strings behind the scenes, entangling their fates with yours." Enraged by this, Chen Luo said, "So, it was this vile woman plotting against me all along. Time Trace, I'm giving you a chance for revenge now. Go and kill Violet. How about it? However much you hate her, let her death be that miserable." Time Trace immediately responded, "Either way, I'm marked for death. What do I care how it happens? I'll do it now." But just then, Rice suddenly cautioned, "You can't let Time Trace do this. You'll suffer great backlash, and it won't truly kill her. Wait until you become a god of time. The backlash will be much less then. Don't rush. I feel like I'm her nemesis. After I ascend, I'll find a way to deal with her." Hearing this, Chen Luo paused, then exclaimed, "Right, Rice. You are fate. How could you be weaker than causality? We'll do as you say. Spare her for now. Letting Time Trace kill her won't quench my hatred." After saying this, he tossed Time Trace into the spatial ability dimension. To verify the truth of Time Trace's words, he then brought out Artis. Before Artis could steady himself, Chen Luo backhanded him across the face, making the noble Artis cry out in tears. "I know I was wrong. Please spare me. I'm young and don't want to die. I promise the Draymond Empire will no longer trouble you." Chen Luo coldly stated, "You better answer my questions truthfully, or I'll send you to meet your maker right now. Speak up. Do you know what Violet told your grandfather?" Artis humbly responded, "Yes. Violet said I would die by your hand." Upon hearing this, Chen Luo immediately conjured a dimensional blade. "If it weren't for you attacking me first, out of respect for Thunder King, I would never have troubled the Draymond Empire. But Violet's prediction is quite accurate. You indeed will die by my hand." Just as he was about to unleash the dimensional blade on Artis, Rice suddenly sent him a telepathic message. "Do not kill him. I sense sparing him now will bring you benefits." Though Chen Luo was keen on avenging Thunder King immediately, he heeded Rice's advice and let Artis go, instructing him, Go back and tell your grandfather that all of this was Violet's doing behind the scenes." As soon as his words fell, Artis vanished like the wind. Chen Luo then asked Rice in frustration, "If I just retaliate against Violet without killing her, will I face backlash?" Rice immediately responded, "Others might, but if it's you, as long as you don't kill her or seriously injure her, you won't face backlash." Hearing this, Chen Luo smirked. "It's been a year and a half since we last cleaned the septic tank in our spatial dimension, hasn't it?" Meanwhile, Violet was leisurely fishing by the river, thinking to herself, "Now that Adolphe and Resod have joined forces, Chen Luo, even as a master of spacetime, you're still being manipulated by me. Not only does fate deserve to die, but you even more so. No one can stand above me." But at that moment, Violet suddenly sensed that Time Trace had betrayed her, telling Chen Luo everything, and that he would arrive in 2 seconds. Human plans are no match for fate, and in the next second, Chen Luo appeared in midair. Violet spoke calmly, "I know you learned the truth from Time Trace. Yes, I am the mastermind behind all this. I'll stand right here. Do you dare to kill me? I don't mean to look down upon you, but in my eyes, you're nothing. If you don't have the guts, then disappear from my sight." Chen Luo responded with a slight smile, "Don't think I don't know what you're up to. Don't worry, I won't kill you. This time, I'm here to give you a gift." With a wave of Chen Luo's hand, 2 tons of manure immediately poured down. Seeing this, Violet did not hesitate and immediately started to run, but it was already too late. With a casual wave of his hand, Chen Luo banished her to the pouring point in an instant, and she was drenched in manure from head to toe without missing a drop. This made Violet furious. "You disgusting and despicable wretch. If you have the guts, kill me. You waste." As she was spewing insults, 2 streams of yellow liquid suddenly sprayed towards her, causing Violet to vomit uncontrollably and wish for death. However, her weakness was that she could not commit suicide. Chen Luo tortured her for 2 full hours like this. Afterward, he returned to the supernatural space, satisfied. But at that moment, Millie suddenly shouted, "Something terrible has happened, brother Chen Luo. You have to see the news just released by the Volsea Empire. Snake Mother has been captured." Snake Mother was seen tied to an iron pillar, 2 people continuously whipping her. This scene filled Chen Luo with guilt. Snake Mother, to completely remove the pollution from my mother planet, not only endured pain to absorb the Dark Law, but also took out the precious world tree seeds to improve the environment of the Blue Star. I cannot stand by and do nothing. I must save her, especially since Snake Mother is in this plight. At this point, Rice curiously asked, "Why don't you ask me if this journey is dangerous?" "This isn't like you." Chen Luo replied with determination, "There's no need for that. I can't be at peace if I don't go. Even if it means death. I must rescue Snake Mother." Hearing this, Rice smiled slightly. "Then go on your journey with peace of mind. I can't say there is no risk, but the probability of successfully rescuing Snake Mother is 99%. As soon as these words fell, a figure appeared out of thin air above the Imperial Capital Palace, followed by a cold voice. "Reset. I have arrived." This frightened Yin Chuyang beside them. "I didn't expect this young man to be so affectionate and righteous. I really didn't misjudge you." At this moment, Chen Luo said coldly, "There's no irreconcilable hatred between us. Although what I did to Lei Sane was indeed a bit excessive, it was because he provoked me first, and all this was orchestrated by Violet behind the scenes. Now, if you release my friend, I will return everything I took. How about we call it even?" Hearing this, Reset quickly said with a friendly face, "That would be for the best. I don't want to be your enemy. Your friend is at the central square of the imperial capital. You can take her away now." Upon hearing this, Chen Luo immediately flew towards the central square. "You better not play any tricks, or I'll have the entire Volsea Empire buried with you." Reset smiled slightly and muttered to himself, "Keep boasting. I want to see if you can remain this arrogant in a moment." As Chen Luo approached Snake Mother, Reset immediately ordered, "No one move. Let him take Snake Mother away." Seeing Chen Luo risking himself for her, tears welled up in Snake Mother's eyes. "I don't know if I should feel fortunate or regret having you as a friend." Without any delay, Chen Luo stepped forward and untied her. "I'm sorry. This time it's my fault you're in this situation." But as soon as he finished speaking, a flower of the other shore rose behind Snake Mother. At that moment, Chen Luo realized, so this is Reset's plot. Before he could fully understand the situation, the flower of the other shore burst into dazzling light. And in the next second, multiple streams of temporal power surged into his body, causing his life to drain away rapidly. Chen Luo felt that without an effective countermeasure, he would certainly perish within 4 hours. Reset watched Chen Luo with a smirk, thinking to himself, so what if you are a unique spacetime user? You will still die by the hand of the flower of the other shore. Chen Luo also glanced back at Reset, thinking, I will remember this vendetta. If I survive this great disaster, I will make sure the Volsea Empire and you will never be at peace. After saying this, he left the palace with Snake Mother and arrived at a deserted planet, preparing to use time reversal to counteract the time acceleration of the flower of the other shore. Just as Snake Mother was about to say something, Chen Luo interrupted her, let's talk later. I don't have much time now. He thought to himself, this is a crisis, but it's also an opportunity. Maybe if I overcome the flower of the other shore, I could ascend to godhood in time. As Chen Luo was preparing to use time reversal to combat the flower of the other shore, Rice suddenly sent him a telepathic message, open the supernatural space now. Only Millie can help you. Then Rice brought out Millie. Millie's life ability can extend life. Millie, you can use your power to help Chen Luo resist. Upon hearing this, Millie wasted no time and immediately came before Chen Luo. As their fingers interlocked tightly together, a strong life force began to continuously flow into Chen Luo's body. However, at that moment, a metallic sphere silently appeared in midair, closely monitoring their every move. Simultaneously, in another location, the Volsea Empire's intelligence department quickly reported Chen Luo's coordinates to the Emperor. Upon hearing this, Risad's lips curved into a slight smile, and he then ordered, gather the divine level nearby to the palace immediately. Follow me to kill Chen Luo. Yun Chuang, on the other hand, was worried about his disciple, muttering to himself, I wonder how that brat is doing now. I didn't expect Emperor Risad to be so despicable, using the flower of the other shore to scheme against him. Then, Risad spoke in a stern voice, Yun Chuang, what are you standing there for? Hurry up and build the space tunnel outside the hall. Yun Chuang verbally complied, I'm on it. But internally he thought, Chen Luo is the hope of our space series. This time, I must protect the calf at all costs. I cannot let you go and kill that brat. Afterward, he tampered with the construction of the space tunnel, setting the exit in the opposite direction of Chen Luo. Once Risad and his men entered the tunnel, Yun Chuang sneaked into another pre-constructed tunnel, thinking to himself, it seems from today onwards, I can only wander through the universe. Meanwhile, when Risad emerged from the tunnel, he found that it was not their intended destination. He quickly asked, where is Yun Chuang? After scanning the surroundings, he realized Yun Chuang had already vanished. This infuriated Risad, who then exclaimed that Yun Chuang, he really did it this time. He then contacted Adolf, brother, I need your intervention now. You're closer to him. I've run into a bit of a situation here, and might be a bit late. Upon hearing this, Adolf did not hesitate. I'm on my way. But at that moment, Artus suddenly found his grandfather, proclaiming, I have finally become a god of time. Adolf, initially startled, quickly asked Artus, have you mastered time reversal? Artus shook his head, indicating although he hadn't yet grasped the threshold of time reversal, but I have now mastered time acceleration. Upon hearing this, Adolf immediately patted Artus on the shoulder with pride. You are truly my good grandson, the hope of our Draymond Empire. Whether I can achieve immortality depends on whether you can master time reversal. Meanwhile, on another front, 2 spacecraft had already arrived at the planet where Chen Luo was located. The captain spoke seriously, cover the entire planet with firepower immediately. Although it wouldn't harm divine-level beings, but our orders are just to disrupt Chen Luo if possible. As soon as these words were spoken, Mei Ling took the lead and charged towards the fleet. This startled Snake Mother considerably. Maybe I should handle this, before she could finish her sentence. A massive fire erupted in the sky, engulfing the 2 spacecraft instantly. With a wave of Mei Ling's hand, a torrent of red lotus fire raced towards the 2 spacecraft. A loud explosion followed, and the 2 spacecraft were instantly reduced to ashes. This frightened Snake Mother. I didn't expect this young girl to be divine level as well. What kind of people are you all? Chen Luo being a monster is one thing, but I didn't expect each of you to be extraordinary. Just then, Rice suddenly sensed someone was causing trouble and immediately said angrily, that little troublemaker really never gives up. Forcefully triggering the power of causality again. But what of it? The light boat has already passed through the myriad mountains. Whatever she does now is in vain. Good things will follow one after another. At this moment, Mei Ling's supernatural power was completely exhausted. Seeing Mei Ling sweating profusely, Chen Luo quickly urged her, go and rest on the side. I'll handle the rest myself. But Mei Ling refused to give up. For brother Chen Luo, I am willing to continue transferring my life force. After saying this, she once again tightly held Chen Luo's hand and said with determination, it's not easy to be able to help you. Let me give it my all this time. Although Chen Luo was deeply moved by her words, a towering rage surged in his heart. He thought to himself, well done, Riza. You've done a splendid job. I swear I won't rest until I've avenged this. As Mei Ling continuously infused her life force into Chen Luo, her appearance visibly aged at an observable rate. But at that moment, a milky white law suddenly descended from the sky, directly towards the aging Mei Ling. Yes, the law of life had arrived. This overjoyed Chen Luo, you've finally become the god of life. As the law began to transform Mei Ling's body, her once dull skin regained its radiance, becoming even more luminous than before. To everyone's surprise, Riza also started to emit bursts of colorful light. Mei Ling's ascension to godhood also led to Riza's achievement. Now that all the individuals on Riza's destiny path had become gods, it was only fitting for the law of destiny to descend upon her. Instantly, every life form across all the planets in the universe could see Riza emitting a rainbow glow, heralding the birth of the universe's sole god of destiny. Radiant colors illuminated from Riza as the law of destiny began to reshape her body. After about 2 hours, the transformed Riza not only had longer hair, but also underwent a profound change in her demeanor. She then seriously said to Chen Luo, now that your ability to reverse time has reached a level favored by the law, the transformation by the time law requires 1 day. Therefore, I will summon the complete law of time to personally undertake your transformation. Chen Luo was astounded. I didn't know that was possible. Does this mean I'll get a greater reward, similar to the Great God certification? Riza shook her head in response. No, it only makes your transformation faster. As she finished speaking, a formidable presence suddenly descended from the sky, causing Chen Luo's heart to tremble. The law of time, with a hint of arrogance, stated, favored by the law of destiny, today I will grant you this favor and personally assist in your transformation. Although the transformation time will be reduced to 1 hour, the rewards from the law of time reversal will not increase. After saying this, it began transforming Chen Luo's body. Meanwhile, Rice murmured, now that I have become a god, it's time to settle accounts with that little troublemaker of the causality series. Elsewhere, Violet, who had forcibly activated the power of causality, also suffered from its backlash. Suddenly, her complexion drastically changed, and she fell to the ground, unstable. Lying there with a vacant stare and a lifeless expression, she sensed the birth of the god of destiny and roared in anger. After all my efforts, why could you still become a god? Who says destiny must always suppress causality? As her words faded, a rainbow divine light appeared above Violet, completely enveloping her. Her law of causality involuntarily emerged, slowly absorbed by the rainbow light. Violet's face showed disbelief as she screamed, how is this possible? Don't take my law away, God of destiny. I was wrong. Please spare me this once. I can't lose my law of causality. Rice, however, showed no mercy as she took Violet's law of causality for herself. You dare to challenge me, Rice, the great demon? Afterward, she turned to Chen Luo. I need to step aside for now. I can't let anyone know I'm the god of destiny. Don't ask me why. I can't explain it to you right now. Just focus on accepting the transformation from the law of time. Don't be distracted. An hour later, as Chen Luo ascended to godhood, his time crystal evolved from demigod level to divine level. The next second, 2 divine level crystals unexpectedly fused together. However, at that moment, a pillar of energy that seemed to embody the forces of thunder, fire, wind, ice, and the 5 elements descended from the sky, striking Chen Luo directly. He couldn't dodge it and was almost killed by the hit. He thought to himself, what the hell is this? Not only do I not get any extra rewards, but I also get hit by this fancy lightning? He felt a very special energy enter his body, but the rapid fusion of the 2 crystals suddenly stopped, having only fused a very small part. This alarmed Chen Luo. Why did this happen? Could it be because the comprehension levels of the 2 crystals are different? After all, the space series encompasses 6 laws, all with relatively high levels of comprehension, while the time series has only mastered time reversal. As Chen Luo pondered, a scornful voice suddenly came from a distance. Chen Luo, your time to die has arrived, forcibly taking me away, humiliating me. You didn't expect to see this day, did you? Now that I have become the god of time, you will no longer be a match for me. The state Chen Luo was in after being struck by lightning was quite pitiful, leading Adolf to think he was tortured into this state by the flower of the other shore. Artist then arrogantly shouted, "Grandfather, you don't need to intervene. Today, I will personally kill him to rid myself of this hatred in my heart." Unexpectedly, as soon as he finished speaking, Chen Luo used time reversal to instantly heal his injuries back to their original state. He then coldly said, "Artist, I showed you mercy, and this is how you repay me." He thought to himself, Rice was indeed right. Letting him go would benefit me, so quickly bringing a divine-level time crystal as a gift. Although Chen Luo's instant recovery shocked Artist, he still attempted to use time stop on Chen Luo. "Now that I have become a god of time, I refuse to believe I can't immobilize you." Adolf, like a bolt of lightning, charged towards Chen Luo, who was supposedly immobilized. However, as he approached, Chen Luo revealed a smug smile. With a grand gesture, Adolf was instantly banished thousands of miles away. Then, with a simple beckoning, Artist slowly floated towards him. "First, I'll deal with this artist. Then I can take my time with that old man, Adolf." With that thought, Chen Luo backhanded Artist across the face. "Weren't you acting all tough just now? Come on, I want to see how you plan to kill me." Hearing this, Artist immediately fell to his knees, pleading, "Big brother, I know I was wrong. Please don't kill me, I won't dare do it again." At that moment, Adolf, who had been banished, managed to return. He thought to himself, why couldn't Artist immobilize Chen Luo? Could this kid have achieved godhood in both space and time? He then urgently shouted to Artist, "Use time stop to immobilize him now." But Artist, crying, yelled back, "I can't do it. Grandfather, please save me." Before he could finish, Chen Luo, smiling at Adolf, said, "Well, since you've come back so quickly, you might as well witness how your grandson dies." Immediately after, Adolf was frozen in place by Chen Luo using time stop. Chen Luo then conjured a large sword-shaped spatial temporal ability and thrust it towards Artist. Unexpectedly, the area of Artist's arm hit by the spatial temporal energy instantly vanished into nothingness. Chen Luo, surprised by the outcome, paused. How did this happen? Is this the power of space and time? Artist was already terrified beyond measure. "My arm, where's my arm? Grandfather, please save me." As Artist's plea ended, a thunderbolt suddenly struck towards Chen Luo, hitting him directly in the abdomen. Before Chen Luo could react, Adolf, carrying his grandson, swiftly flew into the sky. With a wave of his hand, Chen Luo manipulated space-time, mysteriously bringing Artist, who had been rescued by Adolf, back to his starting point. Seeing this, Artist didn't hesitate and immediately knelt down, begging Chen Luo to let him go as if he were nothing more than a fart. Chen Luo, ignoring his plea, used a space-time blade to pierce through Artist's hand. Interestingly, this time, Artist's hand didn't disappear because Chen Luo simulated spatial cutting with his space-time ability, allowing the blade to physically pass through his hand. Realizing the difference, Chen Luo understood. So that's it. Using the pure power of space-time caused the affected part of Artist to be transported to another dimension. Deciding to end it, Chen Luo declared, "Today, I'll show mercy by giving you a quick end." After swiftly creating a literal hole in Artist's head, Artist collapsed, his demise coming on the very day he became a god of time. His crystals then automatically flew to Chen Luo's hands. When Adolf returned, he was met with the sight of his grandson, lifeless, causing him to freeze in shock and grief. My dear grandson, who had just become one of the rarest gods of time, is now gone. The pain, it's too much. Adolf, eyes filled with rage and sorrow, fixed his gaze on Chen Luo. "Chen Luo, you will pay with your life for my grandson." Adolf's aura unleashed two towering lights, one black and one purple, swirling with a total of 15 waves in violent motion around him, indicating his immense power. Chen Luo was startled by Adolf's formidable strength, and barely avoided a dense blast of dark thunder energy thanks to his use of void walking. Adolf, not giving up, unleashed a vast sea of lightning, forcing Chen Luo to continuously dodge using void walking. Contemplating, this old man is tough, but facing him head-on might actually bolster my own strength. With that thought, Chen Luo took out Artist's time crystal, attempting to absorb it and possibly master the law of time stop while dodging Adolf's relentless attacks. Adolf, infuriated by Chen Luo's evasion and absorption attempt, declared, "I refuse to believe you can keep dodging forever." As he spoke, he suddenly unleashed more than a dozen purple thunderbolts toward Chen Luo. Seeing this, Chen Luo didn't hesitate. He immediately summoned the Sword of Space-Time. With one slash, he shattered the dozen or so thunderbolts flying towards him. At that moment, Chen Luo waved his hand broadly. Hundreds of dimensional blades flew towards Adolf like raindrops, furiously. Unexpectedly, this old cunning man merely lifted his hand slightly, and Chen Luo's full-force strike instantly turned into nothingness. A mere trifle, daring to show off in front of me, he declared. With a loud shout, Phantom Thunderlaw, Adolf's body instantly split into 3, and 3 into 9, creating 9 clones, none weaker than the original, and seemingly charging out for a major move. But Chen Luo, far from retreating, instead revealed a relaxed smile. This is a rare opportunity for real combat. Today, I shall surpass my limits. The next second, Chen Luo simply waved his hand, instantly banishing several clones to thousands of miles away. This infuriated Adolf greatly, muttering to himself, "How is this even playable? Completely no way to handle this kid." On the contrary, Chen Luo became more vigorous as the battle went on. "Though my attacks are but minor irritations to you, as long as I keep at it, I will wear you down to death." Thinking to himself, such a good sparring partner should not be wasted. I can use him to try out more space piercing and space annihilation. After battling for half an hour, suddenly, a black law descended from the sky. Yes, the 7th law, space annihilation, had arrived. Then the law began to transform Chen Luo's body, giving him a chance to breathe. This made Adolf very angry. "So what if you've comprehended a law of annihilation? Though I dare not touch you while the law transforms you. Reset is coming soon. Once the law transformation is complete, it will be your time of death." But no sooner had he finished speaking, another pitch-black law suddenly descended, directly targeting a bewildered Adolf. At this moment, he said with a grin, "Didn't expect I would comprehend a law on extreme anger, did you? Although the law of dark origin is not much use against you, the lifespan reward for collecting the entire set of dark laws is not insignificant." Upon hearing this, Chen Luo chuckled. "You're proud for what? Let's see how you deal with time reversal." Saying so, Chen Luo applied time reversal on him, sending the yet-to-be transformed law of dark origin back to where it came from, causing Adolf to completely collapse on the spot. "How can this be? My law of dark origin?" But just then, the sky suddenly became enveloped in night. The oppressive feeling brought by the darkness made Chen Luo feel an eerie chill, muttering to himself, "This feeling is somewhat similar to when I received the Great God certification. Could this actually be the complete law of darkness? Could it be that Adolf received the Great God certification?" No sooner had he spoken, a majestic voice echoed in his ears. "Rulebreaker, your fate is sealed." This scared Chen Luo considerably. I didn't expect that disrupting Adolf's transformation by the law would anger the entity of the Dark Law itself. Seeing this, Chen Luo didn't dawdle, immediately admitting his mistake and apologizing. "Being just a kid, I was ignorant. Please, the Great Dark Law, be magnanimous and forgive me this once." But the response he got was still, "Rulebreaker, your fate is sealed." This infuriated Chen Luo greatly. He shouted, "Are you seriously disrespecting me? Do you really think I'm afraid of you? Come on, let's hurt each other." Thinking to himself, "Now, my only hope lies in space-time summoning. Last time, I was able to kill the sea god by how beyond my level. All thanks to this perfect counterattack. If I can summon my future self, I can borrow strength to fight against the Dark Law. Otherwise, I'm truly doomed this time." Thinking this, he immediately performed the space-time summoning. "My future self, please lend me your strength." The next second, a pillar of light that pierced the heavens instantly broke through the darkness, establishing a connection between two space-times. Then, a bearded Chen Luo appeared on the other end of the space-time passage. Seeing this scene, Chen Luo's bladder twitched, nearly scared out of his wits. The strength doesn't look very impressive. No way, no way. Please don't tell me it's my past self. Despite the future self appearing somewhat unimpressive at first glance, the moment he made his entrance, the previously arrogant Dark Law immediately changed its tune. "Considering this is your first offense, I'll let it slide this time. Don't let there be a next time." This delighted Chen Luo immensely. "I'm awesome. Even the law has to back down." Using the space-time summoning had nearly drained all of Chen Luo's special abilities, and it also caused a crack to form in the two newly fused crystals. At that moment, the future Chen Luo casually flicked his finger. In the next second, a beam of light shot out from his hand, then expanded infinitely, cutting through the darkness like the creation of the heavens and earth. The light kept expanding while the darkness rapidly receded until it was completely dissipated. This scared Chen Luo considerably. Is the future me really so powerful to extinguish the source of the dark law with a flick of his fingers before he could grasp the situation? It seemed as if the future Chen Luo had run out of energy. His body began to gradually disappear. Following this, Chen Luo also vanished in front of a shocked Adolf and then appeared on an unfamiliar planet. At this moment, Chen Luo was somewhat baffled. What exactly is going on? How did I suddenly end up here? Then, Rice spoke in a deep voice. Even I didn't expect what just happened. Let's not think too much about it for now. At least you're safe now. Otherwise, given your situation just now, it would have been very difficult to escape from Adolf. There's something more important to do now. The time is right. It's time to go look for the congealed frost. That salted fish. Meanwhile, elsewhere, Resod had finally arrived at the scene, only to find Adolf alone. So he hastily asked, "Where's Chen Luo?" At these words, Adolf was furious. "How dare you ask? It's all your fault for insisting on using the divine item, Flower of the Other Shore, leading to today's situation. Kid didn't die, but instead became an unprecedented space-time god. We're both on the brink of our doom. Unable to withstand his acceleration of time, to resist his space-time power, we might have to resort to using the Mermaid Queen's tears." Upon hearing this, Resod nodded. Mermaid Queen's tears are indeed an excellent recovery item. Unfortunately, I only have 3 left. Not nearly enough to deal with Chen Luo. But I've heard that a new Mermaid Queen has ascended. We should hurry to the Mermaid Planet. Meanwhile, elsewhere, Congealed Frost was complaining. "The food here is terrible. How can I live without tomato beef brisket? I want to go home. Chen Luo, come pick me up." No sooner had she finished speaking than a foot kicked her squarely in the buttocks, which infuriated Congealed Frost. She shouted, "Who dares to kick my butt so boldly?" But when she saw who it was, she immediately pointed at Chen Luo's nose and scolded, "You tomato beef brisket, why have you only come to pick me up now? Do you have any idea what I've been through these past few months?" Yet Chen Luo just smirked and said, "It seems you haven't had the best time here either, getting all skinny like this. Come on, let's go home. There's plenty of tomato beef brisket waiting." This speech touched Congealed Frost so deeply that tears turned into pearls as they fell to the ground. Chen Luo curiously picked up the pearls that Congealed Frost cried out and tried to absorb the energy within them. The next second, his nearly depleted special abilities were fully restored. But at that moment, Congealed Frost's attendants suddenly knocked on the door to report, "Your Majesty, Emperor Resod of the Volsci Empire has arrived. Please go out to meet him." As she opened the door, she was immediately shocked by the scene before her. Seeing Chen Luo holding the Mermaid Queen with a smirk, he said, "I'm taking your queen with me. Bye-bye." With that, he stepped into a spatial tunnel with Congealed Frost, leaving the attendant in a panic, who immediately shouted, "Hurry and inform Emperor Resod. The queen has been abducted by a fugitive." A month later, Herman found Yunchuang on a remote planet, which infuriated Yunchuang. "So, Herman, we've known each other for over 100,000 years, and you've come to capture me yourself?" Hearing this, Herman immediately became uneasy. "How dare you speak to me of 100,000 years of friendship after what you've done? You've offended someone and disappeared, implicating me. Do you realize that?" Hearing this, Yunchuang was shocked. "I had no idea Resod hated me so much to resort to guilt by association." Upon hearing this, Herman exploded in anger. "You should see the mess you've made. You played Resod at a critical moment, leading to Chen Luo successfully escaping his predicament and becoming the god of space and time. Not only that, but the guy also recently abducted the newly appointed Mermaid Queen. How could this not anger me?" Yunchuang immediately responded, "I'm sorry, brother. I just got carried away at the moment. I didn't mean to drag you into this." But before he could finish, Herman swiftly changed the subject. "Don't mention it. Thanks to your impulsive moment, Yunchuang, you're about to strike it rich. Now, even Resod is wary of your disciple, wanting to make amends. That's why he sent me to ask you to be the mediator." The two emperors wish to invite him to the Volsci Empire for negotiations. He can name his terms. At this, Yunchuang was momentarily stunned. "I never expected that kid not only to escape the calamity of the Flower of the Other Shore, but also to become the unprecedented god of space and time. And to think such an impressive person respectfully calls me master, and I haven't even accepted yet. Ah, what a boost to my prestige." With that thought, Yunchuang excitedly slapped Herman on the back. "I've got this, but whether we agree to it depends on my disciple's wishes. Meanwhile, elsewhere, the two emperors were waiting in the palace for Hermann's response. With the third prince serving as a sacrificial offering for peace with Chen Luo, kneeling in the grand hall, the crowd began to whisper among themselves. I never knew Chen Luo was so capable to make both emperors compromise at the same time. Just then, Chen Luo suddenly arrived in the grand hall via spatial walking. Isn't this the esteemed third prince? Why are you kneeling on the ground? Although these words infuriated the third prince, making him grind his teeth, he didn't dare to utter a sound. Risad then said in a deep voice, Chen Luo, I know that just offering the third prince won't appease your anger. Therefore, I've already had the mastermind behind this, Violet, killed. Can we consider our grievances settled now? Hearing this, Chen Luo chuckled. What are you thinking? You think you can dismiss me just like that? It's not that easy. Upon hearing this, Risad immediately responded, what else do you want? Or who else do you want dead? I can satisfy your demands. Chen Luo didn't bother with pleasantries. If I wanted you dead, could you satisfy that too? Unexpectedly, Risad agreed without hesitation. I could die today, but if I do, a secret will be buried with me. Come with me, and I will reveal this secret to you today. Saying so, Risad swiftly flew into the sky, later leading Chen Luo to an oasis. Watch carefully. As his words fell, Risad set the entire oasis ablaze, leaving nothing but ashes. He then proudly said, I caused this sea of flames, correct? But who is being punished? Is it me or the original inhabitants of the oasis? Chen Luo was taken aback. What are you trying to say? Risad explained, nature does not discriminate who is the culprit. Although I caused this disaster, it's the original inhabitants who suffer the punishment. Just like in your homeland, everything was caused by Auburn, but it's everyone on the blue star who suffers. Imagine, if I were to extend the destruction I caused to nature to the entire universe, who do you think would step in to punish? Hearing this, Chen Luo immediately said, you're not suggesting the source of the law, are you? Risad nodded in response. Exactly. Whether it's nature or the source of the law, they do not negotiate with you about fairness or reason. Once destruction occurs, everyone will be punished. In the eyes of the source of the law, all beings are seen as natural resources. Any factor causing destruction will be erased, and this is the real reason our two great empires have never engaged in a large-scale war. Chen Luo smiled slightly. So, are you threatening me? If I dared to destroy the two great empires, you would choose a mutually assured destruction tactic. Slaughtering beings en masse? Yes, you have to ensure that you and the God of Fate absolutely cannot take action against the two great empires again. Once, your blue star was wiped out because of the personal grievances between Auburn and Isman. I suppose you wouldn't want to become the person you hate the most. Hearing this, Chen Luo chuckled and said, I didn't expect you, Emperor Risad, to also play the moral high ground card. But I, Chen Luo, am not a noble person. At most, I can promise you that I won't take action for 100 years. He muttered to himself, after all, I still need time to explore the temporal and spatial abilities. Once I'm confident I can destroy the essence of law, then it won't be too late to wipe out the two great empires without harming the innocents. Thinking this, Chen Luo immediately declared, regardless, you must die today. Saying this, he launched a time acceleration attack on Risad. Hearing this, Risad smiled slightly and said, I never expected to return alive today anyway. But I definitely can't let the God of Fate help you. Saying this, Risad crushed the emergency signal transmitter in his hand. 2 hours later, Risad ultimately died of old age under Chen Luo's time acceleration and then fell from the sky with a bang. By the time Adolf and his men arrived, the old man was thoroughly dead. At this moment, Risad's confidant solemnly said, Emperor Adolf, there's no need for sorrow. Emperor Risad asked me to tell you, he has already taken action against the God of Fate. Upon hearing this, Adolf was immediately shocked and thought to himself, no wonder this old man was determined to die and insisted on not letting me get involved. Wanting to meet Chen Luo alone. It turns out, old friend, you were afraid I'd become an accomplice and die from the backlash of fate. Meanwhile, on another planet, all intelligent beings knelt on the ground, praying, O God of Fate, please do not strike against the Empire of Volsea. We want to live. When gods fight, please don't let us suffer the consequences. At this moment, the commander coldly said, the Emperor didn't want it to come to this. So, don't blame us for being ruthless. If you are to blame anyone, blame the God of Fate. Take action. After these words, countless shells were fired from the battleships, instantly erasing all life on the planet. Because only by doing this will all beings resent fate, thereby summoning the essence of fate. This scene occurred on countless planets. To be cautious, Resod destroyed millions of planets. But at that moment, a black energy mass suddenly appeared above Chen Luo's head. Before he could understand the situation, a majestic voice echoed in the sky. Those who harbor malice towards fate are unforgivable. Misfortune shall befall. The next second, several bolts of heavenly lightning struck Resod's confidants simultaneously, turning them into dust instantaneously. This frightened Adolf considerably, who thought to himself, so we are all but ants before the essence of law. Luckily, I was completely unaware of this matter. Otherwise, I too would have been unable to escape. At the same moment, Resod also felt a bloodline suppression in the space of abilities. The essence of fate has come. But these things were not done by me. Why take anger out on me? As soon as these words were spoken, a majestic voice resonated in Chen Luo's ears. Let her out. I shall pass judgment on her. In the presence of the essence of law, Chen Luo dared not act too presumptuously and had to release Resod first. Let's see how it judges. If the essence of law dares to harm Resod, I will use temporal summoning to destroy it. Then Resod spoke with a look of grievance. Can you be reasonable, please? This was clearly not my doing. Why am I being held accountable? As soon as Chen Luo activated the temporal shield, the majestic voice resounded once again. Their deaths were indeed not caused by you, but they arose because of you. Fate may favor the lucky, but not excessively so. You favored the person before you, and he in turn used it to harm others. You cannot escape the causality. The god of fate should not exist. From now on, there will never be a new god of fate. Those who harbored malice towards fate have all been punished. As for you, this will not set a precedent. Now, I shall pass judgment on you. Your power of fate will be retracted. This is the most merciful act fate can offer you. Upon hearing this, Chen Luo was furious. Could you give me, Chen, some face and act as if nothing happened? Unexpectedly, right after he spoke, Resod stripped the fate law from herself, murmuring, Forget it, Chen Luo. I don't need the law. I'm giving it back to you now. This infuriated Chen Luo. Are you disrespecting me? Then let's have a fight. Chen Luo was about to use temporal summoning, but was promptly stopped by Resod. At that moment, the majestic voice echoed again in Chen Luo's ears. Creature beyond fate, I know you are related to the sleeping dark essence, but you still know nothing about the essence's power. Hearing this, Chen Luo fell into deep thought, muttering to himself, the dark law essence indeed wasn't completely destroyed. It seems that the essence itself cannot be killed. It's better not to confront it head-on for now. Thinking this, Chen Luo immediately began to console Resod. Although this girl verbally says she doesn't want it, her heart is very reluctant to let go. At this moment, Resod, sobbing, said, Now that I've lost the power of fate, I can no longer help you. Tears streamed down her face. You won't despise me for being a burden, will you? Hearing this, Chen Luo smiled slightly. How could that be? No matter what, you are our group's pet. When you had the power of fate, you always seemed to have everything under control, which looked quite intimidating. Now, you can finally be a normal person again. Saying this, Chen Luo picked up Resod and placed her on his shoulders. Don't think too much. If you want the power of fate, I'll find a way to get it for you later. Upon hearing this, Resod immediately asked, What should we do next then? Chen Luo chuckled and said, I don't know. How about we ask everyone else? He then gathered Millie, Mylene, and others and said solemnly, Now that Resod is dead, Resod has also been affected and lost her power of fate. I guess the barrier Resod set up before we left Blue Star will also become ineffective. How about we go back to Blue Star first? It's been so long since we left our homeland. I wonder how the members in Dawn City are doing now. After saying this, they returned to Blue Star. The first thing they saw was a towering world tree that spewed out a vast amount of spiritual energy every day, nourishing Blue Star. Then they saw a large field of wheat and green trees everywhere. Blue Star had already regained its vitality from the past, and the shadows of zombies were nowhere to be seen. Afterward, they went back to the headquarters in Dawn City, where several new cities proudly stood. But what he absolutely didn't expect was to see a huge statue in the center of the square, Blue Star's hero Chen Luo written on it. This made Chen Luo feel quite embarrassed, muttering to himself, This doesn't seem like something Su Dazu would do. Before he could fully grasp the situation, a hawking voice came from a distance, turning his head. He was astonished to see Zhao Ji selling fried chicken. Even more incredulously, his little brother Big Strong had transformed from a zombie back into a human, and had become the chief instructor for 300,000 ability users. And the little rabbit Meng Yin, whom he had captured back then, had now become a renowned biologist on Blue Star. This filled Chen Luo with great satisfaction, thereby reinforcing his determination to protect Blue Star. He then gathered the members of Dawn City. Everyone has worked hard these past 2 years. Thanks to all of you, Blue Star has been built so well. This time, I will do everything in my power to protect our homeland.